Hey, yeah, Dave here with another PowerQuest update. This time, I want to talk about my parser system. So I've added a text parser feature or like template to PowerQuest. Basically trying to mimic what old Sierra games like this did, where you can walk around with the keyboard. You can do a bit of walking around with the mouse maybe, and maybe right click to look at things potentially, but everything else is controlled by the keyboard. So to look around to see what's next to town's wall, some man who appears to be waiting for someone. Look, man, Bruno hangs around the town gates. So you type things and it does what you type, hopefully. And what I like about these games, even though they're old and clunky, is it's kind of adds this level of immersion where the character's really sort of doing more what you say. Open door. The door seems to be barred. Perhaps you knock on the door. You're open. There's always a lot of one of the problems with parser games is that there's a lot of things which won't work when you try and do them. I think this one's pretty generous. Like let's try, I don't know, climb ladder. Don't be nosy. Go upstairs. I'm not sure what you're trying to do. There we go. I found one. So if I was trying to say go upstairs because I couldn't think of the word for ladder, it's not going to know what I'm trying to do. I have to type a few things to try and work out what it wants. But I think like climb stairs, that works. Yeah. Look, skull. Pretty normal. Kiss lady. Didn't your mama teach you any better than that? Yeah. So this one's pretty good. It'll catch most things. I don't know. Pick plants. The healer might be able to use them, but you can't. I picked up that one. So that's kind of what we want to do in PowerQuest. So in Unity, basically. Let's see if we can do it. I've got an empty project here. Let's double click the latest PowerQuest Unity package, import it. I think I got all those areas. So I'm going to go to Window, PowerQuest, and I'm going to select the Text Parser game template and click Set It Up. You could incorporate a text parser in any kind of game. This is definitely the easiest way to do it. Now I've kind of hacked around with this and already imported it and then deleted it, so that's why it wasn't showing up properly straight away, but it should work for you. So I'm just going to dock this over here. So we've got a game here. I can click play to test it. And control with the keyboard, just like the other one we saw. I guess it's a test project for an adventure game, which looks adventure-y. I'm thirsty. Move with the arrow keys and type in commands to order Dave about. Yeah, so just like Quest for Glory or Heroes Quest, I can click around and I can also right-click to look at stuff. But I can also type look at well, or look around. Look, bucket on the ground. How do you make that do stuff yourself? So the first thing is there's under the Tools tab, there's now this parser section. And it's got a bunch of stuff inside it. It's got a list of ignored words and a list of synonyms, and then there's a couple of fields. And then there's some buttons to open scripts. So one of the sort of I guess powerful, useful things with this parser system, which has come from similar stuff with those older Sierra games through Adventure Game Studio, which did a sort of parser system like this, is having a list of ignored words so that you can type in more elaborate things like look at well, look at the well, and it'll do the right thing, saying look well. And you can also have a list of synonyms. So say instead of look bucket, I could say inspect the pail. you don't have one. And yeah, like what else could I say? Examine the, so instead of forest, I could say examine the trees. Looks impenetrable. So yeah, there's because there's this entry here for forest, which lets you have forest trees or wood. Yeah, and so you can pretty easily, I've tried to make these fields nice and easy to edit. You can either just like space or comma will fill out the list, or you can edit it like this. There's a big list. So if I put in, say, bloody or something, then I can that'll go at the end or whatever. And I don't know what else. Let's jump to the forest straight away. And instead of, I don't know, well, I could add another entry for, let's say, well, whole thing. I don't know. Now I should be able to say, look at the bloody thing. Well. So cool. That's that sort of makes things pretty powerful. Like you can add words and be as lenient as possible with your players, because you really want to let it accept anything. You don't want to be too strict with your parser, because you want them to really have not too many things they type in where they're trying to sort of guess what word you used. So that helps. So yeah, next part is how you actually do the scripting, how you script the events. And I tried to sort of, I'll click this room parser script button, and I'll dock that down here. So this is a on parser function, which is in your room script, the same place that you had like the look. So where's the well? The well prop is here, and it's got a look button. And previously in PowerQuest, you'd use that to do what happens when you use the look interaction on the well. So that's exactly the same as it was before. But now I've got some code that's handling looking at the well. But maybe a better one to think about is the look around. So when you type look around, where does it get that? Because that's not actually using a current interaction. So look around, or just look. You stumbled on a clearing, etc. Okay, so that's opened the, because I've got auto load ticked, it's automatically opened this parser script. But otherwise, yeah, you could get it through this new ... function, which is next to the room script button, and that shows all the different functions, main functions for the room, including the on parser one. And there's a similar one in the global script. So first we'll try and find something in your room script. If it can't, it'll look in your global script. If it can't find anything there, it'll do some unhandled events. So if I say blah, it'll give a sort of default command. While your vocabulary is mighty impressive, the word blah 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 is not useful here. But yes, so let's look at this script now. And I might just pretend this doesn't exist. So say we've got nothing in here. So I'll put a return. So it never actually hits anything below that. And say we've got nothing. The easiest way to let's say we'll make a new command. We want something to happen when you say dance. Now, while your vocabulary is mighty impressive, the word dance is not useful here. So that's not in the text parser anywhere yet. But when you type something that doesn't exist, it actually copies it into the clipboard for you and opens the rooms parser thing, so you can actually just paste it in. But I'll tell you the sort of commands first. Basically, there's a function which returns a true or false called sed. So parser dot sed, and then dance. That would return true if that's what has been typed in. So I could say if parser dance, then do something like display you dance about. That's a bit clunky if you have having lots and lots of these. So I can simplify that to using a squiggly thing like that. So now it's just a bit simpler. If dance, you dance about. We can just test that quickly. Dance, you dance about. Hooray. And then of course you could do, you know, so don't even need these, I guess. Simplify that a bit. Else if sit, you sit down. And of course any kind of regular scripting from PowerQuest would work there. You sit down, dance about. And then if you want to dance or prance, dance or prance, you know, you could do an or, like a standard if statement or you could add prance and dance as synonyms in this list here, or you can just match multiple words with a comma. So if I put a comma there, it'll match both dance or prance, you know. Let's test that works. Prance, you dance about, yeah. Okay, the next simplification is if you have, say, a bunch of these in a row, stand up, I don't know, else if, talk, Barney, hi Barney. Okay, I'll like walk to Barney. Say hi Barney. All right, so we've got a few different things here. That needs those. Okay. Another way to simplify this even more is I've made it so you can get rid of this if and else if stuff by just doing 2 squiggles to start like that, and then after that one, just 1 squiggle like these by themselves, and taking out the curly brackets, and then at the end you need to do 3 squiggles. And so this is kind of it's still kind of in the code, it's kind of going back to the same exact thing, the whole if said blah blah blah, and putting in those curly braces. So you can get into a bit of trouble if, say, you forget this bit, it'll like complain at you and say you've missed a curly bracket, so it's a bit confusing. But it's kind of nice just to be able to look at this and see dance, prance, and you know, you see the things and it basically does what it says pretty easily, pretty easy to understand. And yeah, this is the code that it sort of turns into. This code here, which is a lot less readable. But yeah, importantly, like you can still decide in here to go if to do some extra logic. So if you wanted to, in here you can go prance, you know, so there I've got some extra logic. Cool. Simplify it back down for now. All right. So there's a few other little sort of fancy language kind of features here that you can use. There's an optional word. So say I wanted to make it so you could say dance or prance about. You could do that. So dance about, you dance about. But then if I say dance, it won't work. So to make this word optional, you put it in brackets. So that way it'll work with both dance about, or prance about. That works too. Another thing you could do is use a wildcard. So say it was sit and then a wildcard. That would let me say sit, just say that would force it to say sit on something. So like say sit bucket, you sit down, and because it's a wildcard, I could say sit down on parser.wildcard word, I think it is. You can test that by parser.wildcard word. I'm just going to stick that in these curly brackets here. There. Let's try this just as a test. Sit bucket, you sit down on the bucket. Well, it's down on the well. So yeah, that star is like this wildcard word. It will match one word basically. And it's got some special stuff so that it will kind of ignore the ignored word. So if I say sit on bucket, it still works. Still finds bucket as the wildcard word. Oh yes. There's another one which is instead of that you could do a greater than symbol. Actually, there's two other ones I've got to teach. The greater than symbol is the same as like the rest of the line, so it just ignores the rest of the line basically. So dance with the fairies. No, didn't save it. There we go. Dance with the fairies. You dance about. So that's going to match dance or prance and then anything else. So that one's useful sometimes where you just want to match whatever else happens. So say we want to talk to Barney. Talk Barney. Like I could have him walk up to Barney and sort of talk, but it'd be nice to have that done in the characters. So I've got Barney here, the character, and he's got a use function, and yeah, he's already got a bunch of stuff here. So I kind of don't want to have to copy and paste that into my parser script. So the way to do that, or indeed any link to any other interaction, is parser. Yeah. So I can do handle interact c.barney, and that will run that Barney interaction, I think. So let's talk Barney. Hey Barney. Yeah, you'll notice that he's walked to the wrong place. He hasn't walked to Barney. He's supposed to face clicked and walk to clicked. And the reason is you haven't clicked on anything. The last thing I clicked on must have been the well. And so to make that work better, so it knows sort of what we've actually interacted with, instead of talking to Barney, just using the word Barney here, I can put a talk and then a dash, and then the name of the object in PowerQuest. So if it was a hotspot, it'd be .h.cave, for a character, c.barney. And that will also look at the character's description to get the thing, their sort of name for use by the parser. And that can be comma separated as well, so it can have extra options. So for example, the data. Yep, so cave here is cave, comma, entrance. So that means if I look at the cave, let's go, look cave. If I just do look cave, it's dark. Okay. Look, entrance. Yeah, it didn't work. Because it's just looking for this word. So if I wanted, I can do the dash, and then hotspot cave, and that will look at the hotspots cave comma entrance and pick up that and match for the word entrance. It's dark, and also that means I can walk to clicked, face the clicked, and all that stuff will work. There's also parser.target, so I can get the clickable object if I wanted to, if I need that or something. But yeah, the main thing is then now I can walk to it and look at it and stuff. So look, entrance, he walks over to it. Yep, last one I guess is Barney, so talk Barney. Hey Barney, yeah? I'm thirsty, blah, blah, blah. All right. Oh yeah, the other benefit of that is it'll open up, when you do this handle interact Barney, it'll jump you to the script you're interested in when you do that in the game, so you can sort of see what you're doing automatically. And if it's not found, yeah, if something's not found, like jump up and down doesn't work, but now I can paste this in. You jump up and down, and maybe you want to edit it. So the jump up, down, and anything else. Jump up and down. Yay! All right. Anyway, trying to get through this. I think that's kind of covered all the basics. You can look through my kind of big long list of things that I've put in here. So this works. Get bucket. You can do look down well. So that's like even if the word down was in your, say, ignored list, because it's specified here, it will still require it. So that's pretty helpful. Yeah. So here we go. So look. So usually the word in is ignored, but look in well works here because I've got look in well. Get water. Lower bucket into well. Yeah. So that's one which I'll go look at the lower bucket into well one. So yeah, I've got fill, comma, lower, comma, use, bucket, and then an optional keyword in case you say down or into or something, and then p.well. So use bucket on well would work. Fill bucket with well, that works. So try to be as sort of generous as possible. And then I've also got some for water, so you can say get water, which doesn't work. But if it's something water in the rest of the line, then it'll do some extra checking and say, ooh, if you've got the bucket, then you can say get water with bucket or something like that, and it will use the bucket on the well. And the way I'm doing that is I'm just calling this parse text function. So basically just like runs this parser function again with use bucket well. So I don't have to like copy and paste the whole section of code. I can just call this function again with the other version of the way to say the word. There's a bunch of extra logic in here for checking whether you have the bucket when you're using it and stuff. And now I've got it. I can drink water. I think it will work. Yeah, take a long drink from the bucket. So refreshing. Having conquered both your thirst and the parser, you can safely say you've beaten the game. Congrats, goodbye. Yeah, and so hopefully that's doable for people who want to make games like this. Yeah, I guess the last thing is it will automatically if you say look at and one of the things in the room. So if I said look at entrance, it would automatically call that entrance as look at script. This one here. So that's pretty handy, and you could make it do a similar thing if you wanted for the use verb or something like that, and that's all in the kind of global script. So it's all editable in as per project. So yeah, I've got some extra kind of things in the global script, like Kiss Barney. This is maybe where you'd put stuff for characters if they're in multiple rooms. Quit and exit the game, options, configs, save and restore. Use like look at inventory or open inventory, show inventory. That would work to show the inventory. This is my fancier bit where it's checking all the hotspots and all the props and all the characters to see if you said look at the name of the item, and then calling through to handle look at. And under that, there's just some unhandled events, things that didn't work, like verb noun things, like if you eat something, it says you're not hungry enough, etc. So those are all editable. You can do whatever you want with them. And then, if you definitely can't find anything, but there's a word which isn't listed in the kind of list of words, it'll say that word isn't useful here. Otherwise, it just says try something else, basically. So yeah, I'll have that up presently, and I'll do some documentation so that there's a reference for all this stuff, and that'll be on the PowerQuest documentation website-y thing. That'll be here. There'll be under edited manual, there'll be a parser button underneath the GUI system one, basically. So I'll do something similar to this one, sort of explains it a bit. Cool. Yeah, good luck, and hopefully I get to play some parser games. Bye.